Oh, well, good evening, everybody. It is, let's see, 20 minutes to Gold Rush. That's how bored I am. That's what marks my day. I'm here to do a little rant, and I keep holding this rant. I was going to do one on Ferguson, maybe 4 or 5 times, and then some other ignorant thing pops up, and you get distracted, and you go on, and you think. For the last couple of days, there's been all these CIA jerks on there, and everyone will say one thing. They'll say that some of the gentlemen that were waterboarded gave up information, but they'll never put the two of them together. The information they got before they waterboarded these people. Then they waterboarded them. You never see them make the claim that some useful information come out of anybody that they waterboarded. What a lying bunch of sons of bitches. They try to play language games when finally they got caught. Here we are. It wasn't bad enough that we had the rendition program. It wasn't bad enough that we had Bush and Cheney on tape saying that they realized half the people at Guantanamo Bay were totally innocent, and Cheney chuckled and laughed about it. So here we have people that have been imprisoned for up to 14 years now. Some of them were as young as 14 when they went there. And then now we're afraid to release them because we think they might become terrorists. Well, any son of a bitch to put me in a cage, tortured me, and treated me like crap for 14 years, and then releases me and thinks that I'm going to forget those, just go jolly on my way as though nothing ever happened, is a damn fool. So we're creating terrorists. This Bush administration were nothing but a bunch of criminals. And although I think that Cheney is much more responsible than Bush, when Bush took office, Cheney was really president for the first couple of years. That with Rumsfeld following up behind, and Gonzales, who was the Attorney General, okaying anything that Cheney wanted, and telling everybody that waterboarding and all these extreme practices weren't torture. You strip somebody down naked and you put them out in the cold and leave them there for a couple of days, and in one case the person died, and you're telling me that's not torture? You kill somebody and it ain't like you hang him and got it over with quick, or shot him in the back of the head and got it off quick, or even chopped their head off and got it over quick. No, you tortured them to death. How's that? Great. And we do it under the Patriot Act, and because we get crazy when something happens to us, we become what we fight against. But then when you get caught right in the middle of it, of course you want to block it. Oh, let's not release it. It's going to cause tremendous harm. There'll be people massacred all over the world because of this information. This information I have, has been out for years. Every bit of it has slipped out at one time or another. But it's never been so well documented and put together in one place as this report is. And when you got people that are neocons and ready to bomb everybody in the world, like McCain, and then even he, because he's experienced some of this on the other end, is against torture, then you know something's amuck. And what's amuck is the fact that, as being the most powerful country in the world, we always think that we can get away with whatever we want. We can redact it, we can hide it, we can burn up the files. We took many recordings of these tortures, and then when things got hot, they all disappeared. Those recordings were lost forever. But what isn't lost are emails. I don't know, these people that pass emails back and forth and then all of a sudden think if they hit delete and that email's gone. That shit's going to be around here till the goddamn sun consumes us, expands and consumes us all in billions of years. Those emails never seem to be lost forever. But then we go back and we think, well, maybe Congress has finally woken up and they're going to let the American people breathe a little freer, knowing what the hell the CIA and the NSA and everybody else is doing. Well, here's another point. When rendition was running, and I'm sure it probably still is, there was no cancellation that I know of rendition, that they would take people, and we'd take them, of all places, get this, some of them would be dropped off in Syria, and we'd allow the Syrians to torture the shit out of prisoners, or we'd drop them off in Egypt, or we'd drop them off in Kazakhstan, or any fucking place we wanted to, and we'd allow them to have a go at them. Now, it wasn't bad enough that we waterboarded. They say 3 people. Now we know it was at least 5, and I can guarantee you it was a hell of a lot more than that. But after they got the information out of them that was useful, they waterboarded them in one case 183 times, and another case 247 times. Now, what in the world would ever make even the dumbest fuck think that on the 122nd time the guy's going to tell you something he hadn't told you already, or he's going to give you information that's useful, or on the 38th time or the 99th time? What is it except the pure, cold-blooded desire to put these people through hell that would make anyone do this? And then they hire a guy, a psychiatrist, and who readily admits now that he never knew anything about interrogation at all, but they hire his firm to oversee interrogation to the tune of $187 million contract. So him and a buddy of his, two clinical psychologists, go in, and they the head of the torture program when they knew absolutely nothing about it, and they have to date been paid over $80 million. It's incredible. The more you learn about this government, the less confidence you have in it. Then what's Congress do? In order to pass a continuing resolution to fund the government, at the last minute, what do the Republicans slip in? A couple of years ago, they slipped in a bill that allowed individuals to go from a $1,000 contribution up to $30,000. Now they put on an amendment yesterday, just before it got passed by the House, to up that to $300,000 per contribution. So you take somebody like the Koch brothers, or Adelson, or what's that guy, Sheldon Adelson, who's a multi-billionaire, owns casinos and things, and you take those with such deep pockets that they could literally buy any election in this country. And if you go and look at the election results, you'll see that in most cases the person that spends the most is the one that wins. You can flood a system, a local system, television system, with so many ads that the other guy literally has a little chance of getting his on, or literally is so swamped in lies that he doesn't have the time or the money to crawl out from underneath them. That this government has been bought and sold, and now they've raised the stakes so that they can buy it more and sell it more. And then on top of that, the government now is going to allow big banks to offer the ETFs again that got them in trouble in the first place, and that they for a while had blocked because of the trillions of dollars it cost us to bail these fuckers out. Now they passed a bill Dodd-Frank is out the window, and these banks now can again involve themselves in ETFs, and that they again can bunch up these loans, sell them to somebody else, and they take a little bit, and sell them to somebody else, and they take a little bit, and get us right back into the trouble we were in before. And if the banks fail again, under Dodd-Frank, they weren't going to be bailed out again. Now they again will be bailed out, so that the people at the top just make money hand over fist, and if they make a mistake, the little guy suffers, and he has to pay to bail these sons of bitches out again. Now, anyone that has any trust in this fucking government anymore is a fool. And the president, of all people, if it's not enough that he practically ruined healthcare with his Obamacare thing, instead of having one payer where he could have saved hundreds of billions of dollars, and he could have covered tens of millions more people and not cost us any more money. Now we are cast back to the bankers, and the bankers run the country. So between Ferguson, where no one, well, I shouldn't say no one, because I actually heard somebody actually refer to this Michael Brown as a thug, and he practically was stoned on the air. It's unbelievable. Here we have a kid, 6'4", 300+ pounds, goes in and strong arm robs a place, and then ends up being shot by this cop after he slams the door on the cop twice and thumps the cop in the face. The grand jury found the cop not guilty of any kind of felonies, but I'm certainly in some agreement that cops do have a tendency, some of them, to overreact. But this kid was a thug. Why else would he be walking down the middle of the street, telling the cop, giving the cop the finger, not even moving from the middle of the street, shoving the keeper of that store? And what did the keeper of the store end up with? A month later, when the grand jury turns in their verdict, they burn the store down. Now, I'm sure under some insurrection clause or something, the guy might never be able to open another store. He might not be able to afford it. But no one had the balls to ask this kid's parents, why did you raise a thug? Does this come as a surprise to you that he strong-armed this store? And the guy, if you see the video, it wasn't the first time he had done something like this. He was so confident and felt so secure in himself, he just pushed the guy down on the floor and walked out with his box of cigars. Well, those cigars cost him his life. Maybe it shouldn't have been, but to make this guy out as some kind of saint now is nothing but manipulation by the media and manipulation by low-life blacks like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. They are worse than any ambulance-chasing lawyer that's ever existed. Al Sharpton made his debut with Tawana Brawley, which was nothing but a lie, and he knew it. Jesse Jackson, when he ain't out whoring around, he's trying to boycott companies to get his son a bottle dealership for Coca-Cola and help get him elected to Congress, and now he's gone to jail where he belongs. Well, his father should have been there first.